This is my care video for Parachromis Dovii, or Guapote, or the wolf cichlid, or rainbow bass. Whatever you call them, they're an amazing, really majestic fish. They are predator fish. Cichlid, feeding, they're carnivorous basically, piscivores, and they will eat other fish. They can live up to 30 years, they say. This fish can grow up to 28 inches long and is quite bulky. So if you want to talk about proper tank size for this, this tank, a young specimen, can live in a 125 and then, up to swimming pool, really. You could look probably at like a 300 gallon for an adult. But again, they get very, very big. They are also very, very vicious. They do not want to spend time with other fish. This is not a community fish. Parachromis Dovii. This is Bash. This is my Dovii. They are, again, carnivorous fish. I avoid at all costs feeding any carnivorous fish live feeders. I really am a pellet guy. I think that it is a clean source to get all the nutrients and proteins and fats that the fish need to grow. I do, from time to time, feed bash, store shrimp, things of that nature. Even with that, I limit it. These fish, like any other, are susceptible to viral bacteria infections, and so I keep that limited. Again, I look for a clean source of food. Water filtration, this is a 125. I don't keep it filled all the way to the top. That's just the way the overflow is set, because quite frankly, one young fish doesn't need quite all that much space at this time. So filtration for this is pretty simple. It just is an overflow into fine filtration, the same that you see in that water polisher right there. Falls into a bunch of K1 media, which is bubbled and boiled, and then the water is sent back up here. So that's a lot for one fish, but highly recommended. These are carnivore fish, so whatever, they eat a lot. And then they release a lot, so it's really important to stay on top of your water parameters. Water parameters for this fish, they are not particularly picky. Anything from high 6, low, very, very low 8 is an alright pH for this fish. Up to 10 for water hardness. I don't like too hard a water. My water here is pretty hard anyway, and I don't do much to soften it. But again, they're pretty accepting. Anywhere up to 82 or so degrees Fahrenheit is pretty acceptable. They are warm water tropical fish, as I mentioned before. Nicaragua, Honduras. That's all places where these fish originate. They are important fisheries. They're also game fish, which makes kind of gross to me. But if you're a fisherman, this is a fish you may want to catch. My guy Bash is pretty shy. He does have moments of boisterous cantankerism, but for the most part, Bash is pretty mellow. Does take to pellets really easily, did from the start. I just feed North Fin and Southern Delight, and again some store shrimp and just different real basic proteins as a treat. As far as decor and setup for the tank, I keep it pretty minimal. Something for him to hide in. I keep one area a little bit dark. Appreciates the shadow. He can recognize that that's a place he can hide in. I just use, geez, I forget now, real light grit blasting sand in here. I like to keep it. I don't want to do bare tank just for him. He does, oh, sorry buddy. He likes to dig around and create his little space in here, and so I like to allow that, just for, give him something to do. As you can see, even with that little flurry, he's got enough space to have a freak out and shoot off without hurting himself or hurting anything. So I really do try and give these fish as much space as you possibly can.